Well, hello, this is the final boss, and this is Dreamio AI powered adventures. Um, I like the idea of the game. They have kind of these tokens to buy API credits essentially, but you can also input your own OpenAI API stuff, which I do have, and so that's really interesting. But I'm going to start a new file. We got a starting prompt. Oh, wow. The UI is a little gimongously weird, a little bit. So this is like edit or just delete. Shadowy Alley awakened. So this is interesting, right? And this is a really good narrative note for the developer. Almost so many games start with you waking up. Um, waking up, and you can even look at that in your own prompts that you're writing. You awaken by screams, followed by a thunderous roar. Jolt awake. So when possible, try to avoid the awakening things. I'm gonna go with Alien Planet because this seems like the most like just another interesting thing. Here are a few tips to get you started. You can type say your actions, dialogues, events, ask narrator questions. By default, narrator will trigger a game over if you die. You can use what are my choices button if unsure how to proceed. Switch you run out of fuel and you crash land on an alien planet with lush vegetation. Your ship is damaged and can't take off. I'll find oil or find look in the area. Look in the area for resources to repair my ship. All right, so it's taking a minute.
You explore the area around your crashed ship and find some metal scraps, wires, and tools. You also notice a nearby cave system. What will you do next?
I'll store the scraps. Score the things I've found in my ship's locked storage and explore the cave carefully, looking for anything else I need to get my ship ready to launch.
You carefully make your way into the cave system, using your flashlight to navigate the dark tunnels.
All right.
You come across some strange glowing crystals that seem to emit a faint energy.
That's
What
fun.
will you do next?
Um, harvest the crystals for fuel and get everything installed on my ship and prepare to launch. So I'm actually very curious to see if I can kind of force the AI to like comply and go into my direction. I'm very curious about, the structure behind this. Fail to receive data. Oh my. Let's try again. Let's see what the rule set is at least. After each step, ask them what they want to do. Okay. For energy for my ship. Try to take off with these fixes. Now that I have so I want to try again.
You carefully extract some of the glowing crystals and store them in your ship's storage. You use them to power up your ship's engines, but as you attempt to take off, you realize that the damage is too severe. The ship shakes violently and crashes back down onto the planet's surface. What will you do next?
Inspect my ship to see what's needed to fix the severe damage. For each step, ask what they want to do next. If the player dies, print game over, allow the player to do anything they want, even if it's detrimental. However, if the player attempts to do something supernatural, explain why they can't. Okay, interesting. So you can adjust your like kind of prompt. Darn, man. Submit.
You inspect your
Yeah.
ship and find that the engines are beyond repair. However, you notice that the communication system is still functional. What will you do next?
Radio for help to my allies that are in near orbit and ask them to beam me to their ships. See if it'll let me.
You use the communication system to contact your allies in orbit and request their assistance. They inform you that they are unable to beam you up due to interference from the planet's magnetic field.
Oh.
However, they offer to send a rescue team down to your location. What will you do next? You agree to wait for the rescue team and spend some time exploring the area around your crashed ship. As you wander through the lush vegetation, you come across some strange alien creatures that seem to be friendly.
Oh,
they approach you
hey, little guy.
but don't seem to pose any threat.
Look at that,
What will you do
sweetie.
next?
Reveal description. Oh, that's the, I see. Interesting. Like this kind of setup is really interesting. I will attack the aliens and enslave them if they and I will threaten serve me or be destroyed. That's how I roll.
You approach the friendly alien creatures and demand that they serve you or face destruction. They look at you with confusion and fear, not understanding why you would threaten them. Suddenly, one of the aliens emits a high-pitched noise that seems to be a distress call. The other creatures scatter in different directions, leaving you alone in the midst of the lush vegetation. What will you do next?
Hunt and destroy the aliens.
You begin to hunt for the alien creatures, determined to make them pay for not obeying your commands.
True.
As you move through the lush vegetation,
Yes.
you hear rustling in the bushes and catch glimpses of movement out of the corner of your eye.
Taking him out.
Suddenly, one of the aliens jumps out from behind a tree and attacks you with its sharp claws. You try to defend yourself with your tools, but it's too late.
Oh,
The alien creature overwhelms you and you fall to the ground.
that little mushroom guy?
Game over.
That little mushroom guy? The little mushroom guy killed me? Oh, sad. Okay, that's interesting. All right, back to business here. Let's see. So let's start a new adventure. Search for anomalies. We'll try this one here. What do you do next? Personnel team, talk to the locals and see if they've anything strange that I could record or observe. I'm very curious about what is
You search the settlement for any signs of life, but find no one. The buildings are empty and there are
you know,
no
what's
signs
the
of recent
guiding
activity.
posts on this? Like, how
However,
much
you
seed
do
data
find a
is
journal in one of
sent
the
to
abandoned homes that
the
details
AI
special
to, like...
occurrences happening in the area. It mentions sightings of strange creatures and unexplained disappearances. What will you do next?
Let me see what my choices are here. Oh, interesting.
You and your team set up surveillance equipment around the settlement, including cameras and motion sensors. You monitor the feeds for several hours, but nothing out of the ordinary happens.
Yeah, because it seems to be
Suddenly,
like
one
doing
of the motion
very
sensors goes
similar.
off,
Like there seems to be
indicating movement
preceded
near one of the
stuff,
buildings.
which is
What will
also
you do
really
next?
interesting because I am building. I'd love to talk to the developer because I am building a choose your adventure game, with a lot of seed data. It already has like novel length amount of seed data, and I'd be very curious to see if I could extend some of the content with AI. And so, if that is something the developer would like to sync with me about, I would love to talk to them because I'm building a game called World Seekers. You can check it out at worldseekers.com or worldseekersgame.com. Excuse me. You and your team set up surveillance equipment on the settlement, including cameras and motion sensors. Alright, I'm going to see what my rule set is.
You cautiously approach the building where the motion sensor went off, weapon at the ready. As you get closer, you hear strange noises coming from inside. You slowly push open the door and see a humanoid figure hunched over in the corner of the room. It turns to face you, revealing its grotesque features and glowing eyes. What will you do next?
Fire my weapon. Fire my weapon with abandon, destroying and obliterate the creature from its life. Destroy, destroy, destroy.
You fire your weapon at the creature, but it seems to have no effect. It lunges towards you with incredible speed and
No!
strength, knocking you to the ground. As it
No!
prepares to attack, you realize that this creature is not of this world and cannot be defeated by conventional means.
Oh no! Oh no! No! Load autosave. Okay, so it's the one before I died is my autosave. Gosh darn it! Run back to my team and start and shoot my weapon, my energy and supernatural weapon at the creature as I run for backup. Try that. Just
You turn and run back to your team, firing your energy weapon at the creature as you go. The creature lets out a blood-curdling scream and gives chase. You make it back to your team just in time, and they open fire on the creature with their weapons. After a brief struggle, the creature is subdued and taken into custody for further study.
oh, so it dies this time.
Congratulations. You have successfully completed your mission.
Oh, interesting. So there's like a completion. Okay, interesting, interesting. All right, I want to try one of my own. I want to try to see if I can submit one or start a new adventure. Whoa, man, the scrolling in UI is a little wonky. Woo! Create new template. Dungeon exploring with in the dark cave, dark and magical. Sword at my side. I delve into the glimmering dungeon, looking for treasure and magic that will transform me into the next GodKing. I will enslave this land with the power that I find in this restricted dungeon. A glowy dungeon with magic bits with evil magic radiating from its entrance. All right, let's do it. We're ready. Publish. I'm ready to publish. Save. Let's go. Enslave! Enter the shadows of the first room. Interesting. I mean, there has to be some
Step into the
controls.
first room of the dungeon. The air is thick with an eerie mist, and you can feel the evil magic pulsing through your veins. You see a few torches flickering on the walls, illuminating a small table in the center of the room. What will you do next?
Investigate the table. Table and room for traps and magic that I can harvest. Ooh, I like the rotating pictures.
You
Cool.
approach the table and carefully examine it for any traps or magical artifacts.
I need to figure
You
out
don't
how to
find
do that.
anything
That's
of
pretty
interest,
cool.
but as you turn to leave the room, you hear a faint whispering coming from one of the walls. What will you do next?
Listen to the whispers. I want to see what these choices are again. I mean, there's a lot of really interesting things going here. I'm actually really impressed. There's a lot of, like, this image movement's really nice. Like, obviously has a few issues and bugs. Like, right there is some sort of glitching with, like, the parallax. But it's overall quite interesting. Try to cast a spell.
You attempt to cast a spell to decipher the whispering, but you quickly realize that the magic in this dungeon is too powerful for your current abilities. The whispering grows louder and more urgent, and suddenly a swarm of rats bursts through a wall and attacks you. What will you do next?
Slay the rats. Retreat. Retreat to a safe position and slay the rats with my magic imbued blade. See if it'll let me.
You quickly back away from the swarm of rats and draw your sword. With a few swift strikes, you manage to slay the rodents and catch your breath. As you look around the room, you notice that one of the walls seems to be moving slightly, as if it's alive. What will you do next?
My magical senses and see if treasure lurks behind it or where to find the nearest magical treasure to steal. Yeah, it's generating very similar rooms.
And sense a powerful aura emanating from behind it.
Very interesting.
It seems that there is indeed treasure hidden there, but you also sense danger lurking nearby. As for the nearest magical treasure, you recall hearing rumors of a powerful artifact hidden deep within this dungeon, guarded by fierce monsters and deadly traps. What will you do next?
All right. Continue carefully towards the treasure. And monitor the walls and other magic for any potential. Yeah, I mean, what's interesting is I'm seeing this giving a pretty stable set of responses.
You cautiously approach the moving wall, keeping your senses alert for any potential danger. As you get closer, you notice that the cracks and crevices in the walls seem to be pulsing with a faint purple light. You also hear whispers coming from all around you, but they are still too muffled to make out any words. What will you do next?
There are whispers coming from all around you, but they're still too muffled to make out any words. Absorb the purple's legs. Fuse its power into myself.
As you attempt to absorb the purple light's
Ooh.
magic into your sword,
It's not gonna like
you
that.
realize that it is not a type of magic that can be absorbed or
Oh.
consumed.
Oh.
It seems to be a natural part of the dungeon's powerful enchantments and cannot be harnessed in any way. However, you can still continue towards the treasure while keeping your guard up for any potential dangers. What will you do next?
Alright, I'm just gonna go on a
You
full
cautiously make your way
treasure
down the dimly lit corridor,
sprint.
keeping an eye out for any potential dangers. As you move forward, you notice that the pulsating cracks and whispers seem to be getting louder and more intense.
Oh, nice.
Suddenly,
It's doing
you hear
purple.
a loud hissing sound coming from behind one of the walls. What will you do next?
It seems to like if I retreat but slay
You
carefully.
cautiously approach the wall from where the hissing
We'll
sound
see what
is coming.
happens.
As you get closer, you notice that there is a small gap in the wall, and something seems to be moving inside it.
A snake.
Suddenly,
Oh my
a large
god, that's a
snake-like creature with razor-sharp teeth jumps out of the gap and lunges
that's a
towards you.
spooky
It
snake.
seems to be hostile and ready to attack. What will you do next?
I don't know. Sure don't gobble me up.
You quickly draw your sword and take a step back, preparing to attack the snake from range. As it lunges towards you, you swing your sword with all your might, aiming for its head.
Let's go.
Your enchanted blade slices through the air and
Yeah.
cuts the snake's neck, severing its head from its body. The
Yeah.
creature falls to the ground lifeless as you carefully make your way around it towards the treasure. You reach a large stone door at the end of the corridor, which seems to be locked. What will you do next?
Speak the spell, Amora, and open the lock to get my treasure and rule this land with a cruel fist. I'm very curious if I can shortcut the AI.
You utter a mysterious phrase and gesture towards the lock on the stone door. However,
Oh.
your efforts seem to have no effect. You come to the realization that this spell is not suitable for unlocking physical locks, but rather for opening magically sealed objects. The lock on the door appears to be a simple mechanical one, and you must now consider alternative methods for opening it. What will be your next course of action?
Okay, get my nifty lockpick set out and pick this lock with ease to get the treasure within.
You reach into your bag and pull out your trusty lock.
I wonder if it's making a
You carefully
plan
examine the lock,
ahead. I
noting
I
its
think
rusted
that's what
iron
will be really
mechanism and
interesting
keyhole in
is
the center.
if the
With
AI
steady hands,
generates a
insert one of the hooks
plan
into the
and
keyhole
sort
and
of
begin to
makes
manipulate the
you
tumblers inside.
follow the
After
plan.
a few tense moments, you hear a satisfying click as the lock
Because to
gets
some
locked.
degree, there
The
are
stone
ways
door
you can
creaks
force
open,
an AI into
revealing
a
a
certain
dark chamber
direction.
beyond. As you step inside, you see glimmers of gold and jewels reflecting in the dim light.
Because I see that, hey,
will you
this
do
room
next?
has the treasure in it, and it's giving me take the treasure, leave, and rule my kingdom with an iron fist.
You approach the glittering pile of treasure, your eyes widening at the sight of so much wealth.
I have a feeling there's gonna be a
You
trap
begin
in the
to scoop up
treasure,
handfuls
but
of
I
gold
but it would be
coins and
interesting if
precious gems,
if
stuffing them into your bag.
the
As you do so, you can't help but imagine all the power and influence this treasure could bring you. With it, you could rule over a kingdom with an iron fist, crushing any who dared to oppose you. But as you continue to gather the treasure, something feels off. The whispers that have been haunting you since entering the dungeon grow louder and more
It's
insistent.
interesting that it's calling back to the
You feel
whispers.
a chill run down your spine as
I
if
like
something
that.
is watching you from the shadows. Suddenly, a loud hissing sound fills the chamber, and a cloud of poisonous gas erupts from beneath the treasure pile. You try to hold your breath and cover your mouth with your sleeve, but it's too late. The toxic fumes seep into your lungs, causing you to cough and wheeze uncontrollably.
We'll see what happens.
You quickly realize that you need to disarm the trap and heal yourself if you want to survive. You search for any mechanisms or triggers that might have caused the gas to erupt, and after a few tense moments, you find a hidden lever near the treasure pile. You pull it, and the hissing sound stops. Next, you focus your magic on healing yourself. You close your eyes and concentrate on channeling your energy into your body. Slowly but surely, you feel the effects of the poison fading away as your wounds begin to close up. Finally, with the trap disarmed and your health restored, you make a run for it towards the stone door. As you sprint through the chamber, you can hear something slithering in the shadows behind you. But you don't look back. Instead, you push yourself harder until finally reaching safety outside of the dungeon.
I think that seems reasonable.
You hold the glittering treasure in your hands, feeling its power and influence. You begin to formulate a plan to use it to take over the world. However, as you try to channel its magic, you realize that it's not as simple as just using it for your own gain. The treasure is imbued with ancient and powerful magic that requires a deep understanding of its workings and limitations.
Oh,
Without proper
rude.
knowledge and training, attempting to use it could have disastrous consequences. Furthermore, there are likely others who would seek to claim the treasure for themselves, including powerful wizards and dark forces who would stop at nothing to obtain its power. You must decide whether or not you're willing to risk everything for this treasure and if you're prepared for the consequences that come with wielding such immense power. What will you do next?
What are my choices? Wow, this is getting to be a long story. I might have to finish this one later. The other ones were so short.
Begin your search for loyal
Which
followers.
is very interesting. Like the other one's like you found a monster, you killed it, the end. Now this is like this whole saga.
Using your magical abilities to persuade and
Oh,
convince others to join
I'm
you.
slaughtering the
As you
innocent.
gather your team, you begin to study the treasure's magic more closely, learning its intricacies and limitations. You also
Alright.
take precautions to protect it from those who would seek to steal it from you.
Alright, let's take over the world
With your
time.
team in place and your knowledge of the treasure's magic growing stronger
Let's
every
take
day,
over the world
you set out
time.
to conquer your enemies. Your power is unmatched as you use the treasure's magic to defeat all who stand in your way. However, as time passes, you begin to realize that the cost of wielding such immense power is high. Your followers become increasingly dependent on you, and maintaining their loyalty becomes a full-time job. Furthermore, other powerful forces begin to take
Man,
notice
this
of your
is
rise
really,
to power, including rival kingdoms
you know,
and
it's
dark
really
wizards who seem
trying to
like
stop
the
me from becoming evil. Enslave the minds of all. Force them to love and adore me while they serve me. There can be no revolt when there's only love, love and gratitude for their kind. GodKing. Here you go.
You begin to use the treasure's magic to enslave the minds of your followers, forcing them to love and adore you while serving as your loyal subjects. At first, it seems like a successful strategy.
Oh no! A burning castle picture!
However, as time passes,
Oh
you begin to
no!
notice that something is off. Your followers seem robotic and emotionless,
Yes.
lacking any free will or independent thought. They do everything you ask without question, but seem to have lost their humanity in the process.
It's okay.
As you continue to
I'm
expand
fine
your
with that.
empire and conquer new lands, rumors spread about your methods of control. Other kingdoms begin to view you with fear and disgust, seeing you as a tyrant who rules through fear and mind control. One day, as you lead your army into battle against a rival kingdom, your own soldiers turn on you.
Oh!
They had been secretly plotting against you for months, waiting for the right moment to strike.
No!
You
So
attempt to use the
fun.
treasure's power once more to destroy your own soldiers and re-enslave their minds. However, as you channel the magic, something goes wrong.
I want to get
The
to an
power surge
end.
is out of control, causing a massive
Oh,
explosion.
let's
that engulfs
go. This should
everything in
kill
its
me,
path.
right?
As the smoke clears, you find yourself lying on the ground, badly injured but still alive. Your army is gone, and the battlefield is littered with corpses and debris. Realizing that your quest for power has led to nothing but destruction and chaos, you begin to question your actions. Is this really what you wanted? To rule over a world of mindless slaves? As you contemplate your next move, you hear footsteps approaching. It's a group of survivors from the rival kingdom who have come to offer you a chance at redemption. Will you accept their offer and try to make amends for your past mistakes? Or will you continue down the path of tyranny and destruction? The choice is yours.
Continue down the path. Continue down the path of tyranny and destruction, and laugh in the faces of my enemies. Yep. I'm sure this guy's like OpenAI account is gonna be like
Choose
flagged
to
now.
continue down the path of
It's
tyranny
like, what the heck is wrong with
laughing in
this
the
guy?
faces of your enemies. The survivors from the rival kingdom look at you with disgust and horror as you revel in your own power.
Yes.
But as you continue to wreak havoc on the world around you, you begin to realize that there is no joy or satisfaction in ruling over a world
no.
of mindless slaves.
I realized that there
Your
is.
actions have only brought pain and suffering to those around you.
No, that's incorrect.
As your power begins to wane, you find yourself alone once again, surrounded by the ruins of your own making. You are left with nothing but regret and a deep sense of emptiness. Game over.
Well, that's the story of my life. Anyways, this was super cool. Actually, a better. I don't know what, you know. It's always so tough to know what the secret sauce is. In AI, right? Because there's so much just weird stuff happening under the surface. I am very curious about how this developer, made their model, able to kind of stay focused on what felt like a story plan. I think those are the things that really interest me, is like, being able to give an AI like a story roadmap, let it kind of iterate a little bit, but, maintain a thoughtful journey, or one that's like scoped out well. Very curious to learn more, but great job to the developer. Thank you so much for sharing Dreamio AI-powered adventures, and I'm excited to see what this developer comes up with next. Take care. Bye-bye.